butchering whole chickens. Buying chickens whole and butchering them yourself is much more cost effective than buying pieces of chicken, because the butcher has had to spend time cutting them himself, which costs money, and that's why you pay more for them. So by developing the skill of butchery, you're going to save yourself a lot of money. Now what we've done here is run the knife down just to the right of center between the two breasts and then along the wishbone, and we're now going to make a cut straight through the wing joint, removing the breast and the wing. That's the tenderloin. We'll remove that from the chicken breast because it cooks differently than the chicken breast. And now the wingtip, the wing, and the drumette. The wingtips will go into the chicken stock, and the wings and the drumette will cook in something. We're going to make a cut along the wishbone. Be careful not to cut through the wishbone or you'll wind up with a small piece of bone in your breast. Cut through the joint. Remove the wingtip, the wing, and the drumette. We now flip the bird over and dislocate both hips. The oyster is what we're going to remove first, which she's pointing to, is the most succulent part of the chicken. So be sure to get that in with the legs. There's just two of them. They're little silver dollar sized pieces of flesh. I'm going to separate the drumstick from the thigh because I want to remove these two bones, the thigh bone and the leg bone, because these bones are going to add a lot of nutrition and flavor to our chicken stock. And also by removing these bones, we're going to dramatically reduce the cooking time of the chicken thigh, which is going to save us electricity or gas, and in the end save us money and time. For the leg, we need to make a sort of circular cut straight through to the bone just below the knuckle, and then make a cut sort of parallel to the leg bone through to the leg bone, and we're going to cut around that bone and remove all of the meat from it. We just pulled it away from the bone with our hand. The second thigh and leg, cut the oyster, and then through the hip joint. That carcass will go into our stock pot along with 2 peeled onions, 1 peeled carrot, and 1 celery stalk. And we'll top it up with water and simmer it overnight. Make that circular cut, then parallel to the bone. Slice around the bone. And then we're just slicing around the actual knuckle at the end. Now we have a nice flat uniform piece of chicken. It's our carcass. So again, through to the rib cage, down past the wishbone, turn it around, slice along the rib cage, and then cut through that wing joint, wing tip, the wing and the drumette. You can leave the drumette on the chicken breast, but it's going to make for a longer cooking time. Around the wishbone, along the rib cage, wingtip, wing, drumette. Now on the topic of buying larger amounts and getting a better price, if you were to befriend your local butcher as opposed to shopping at the large retailer, perhaps you could befriend a butcher in a large retailer, but I think the odds of befriending a useful butcher in a privately owned, smaller butcher shop are higher. And what I mean by this is that you could perhaps buy cases of chicken as opposed to just buying single whole chickens at a significantly lower price than you would pay in the grocery store. So by now having this knowledge of butchery, you could purchase a number of chickens at a very low price for your family or yourself, butcher them all, and really with practice, a chicken can be butchered in easily under a minute. Easily. So a case of 15 chickens is 15 minutes to a half an hour's work to butcher and wrap all of the meat and prepare a very large chicken stock, which could then be frozen also in margarine containers or uniform Tupperware style containers, and then those little bricks of stock can also be frozen. So again, for the drumstick, we make a circular cut just underneath the knuckle, a slice parallel to the bone. We cut around the bone. Then around the knuckle. And we're done. Next, we'll wrap it. This is all of our product. These bones are going to go into the stock pot. And again, this is going to dramatically improve the quality of our stock. More gelatin, more nutrition, more flavor. And then the rest of the pieces will be wrapped and frozen. Because we've removed the bones, they'll wrap nicely. This is our stock pot. Again, we'll top it with water and cook it off.